So, reprinted from Transactions of the American Gynecological Society. So, the pineal gland's influence upon growth and differentiation, with particular reference to its influence upon prenatal development. Pineal gland's influence. Introduction, a cursory review of recent work pertinent to the pineal functioning. The evidence linked pineal body with a glandular function are much less definite than for such glandular organs such as the thyroid, hypophysis, ovary, and other supranals. Oh my God, I'm not a doctor. Doubt is frequently expressed that the pineal body is more than a functionless vestige of what was once, in earlier evolutionary stages, a functioning eye. Pretty interesting. A functioning eye. Other observations have led to the contention that the pineal, through metamorphosis, has become a highly specialized tissue that serves the body in a manner comparable with the major members of the endocrinous system. So the purpose of the paper is to group the essential findings from the recent literature into a concise, unbiased resume, adequately expressing the status of the pineal body as a functioning organ. To this are added the writer's more recent observations upon the growth of young animals under the influence of pineal materials. The pineal gland is situated in the brain beneath this. So there will be the occasional. These publications may be summarized by indicating complete cytological study in several species, allow the inference that the pineal body is glandular in nature. Glandular elements, however, are few and illy defined. So, the gland undergoes evolution changes begin in the human as early as the 7th year. Involution is announced as puberty. Degeneration is, however, not complete, and the histologic picture of the adult gland is not such as to remove the possibility of a continued functioning in the adult life. Pineal neoplasms and resultant functional disturbances. Tumors of the pineal are not a frequent occurrence. There are a few. Constitutional. Under this definition, a group of manifestations attributed to the derangement of the pineal glandular functions. This constitutional syndrome consists of first, early sexual maturity evidence in enlarged sexual organs, pubic hair, general body hair, early change in voice. Second, precocious mental development evidenced in the maturity of thought and speech. Third, general body overgrowth to the extent that a child of 5 or 6 years may have the appearance of a child of 11 or 12. Frank Hochberg similarly has summed up the above characteristics of this pathological state. He says when one finds in a very young individual, along with the general symptoms of a tumor as well as the signs of a lesion of the corpora quadrate, part of the brain, I guess, abnormal body growth, unusual growth of hair, adiposity, oh my, okay, anyway. Of the 70 cases at the present time available in this literature, only 25 occurred prior to puberty. Because of this pineal involution that occurs by the time of puberty, only in these 25 cases are constitutional manifestations to be anticipated. It is significant that with 2 exceptions, all cases occurred in boys. Many cases of pineal tumors before puberty manifest none of the signs of precocity of development that are so striking in a few selected cases study. clinical material reveals how little consideration has been given to the possibility of pleural glandular involvement. In fact, some early cases of necropsy demonstration of the pineal tumor led to the association of all prior metabolic changes to pineal function perversion, thus grew out prevalent conception of the endocrine. So, yeah, so that's where the pineal gland is, everything. So, vulnerable pineal, I observed no sexual porosity or indolence, no animosity, mastication, no mental retardation. Where these two investigators read how indicate data bearing upon exploitation as a method of approach pineal functions. So this is a comparison of the effect of swelling and pig uterus. So under, let's see, trying to find, hold on a second. Okay, so fed pineal materials to young animals, kittens, rabbits, guinea pigs, and noted a 25% excess in weight over controls. And these investigators sought to determine the extent of stimulating influence upon children of low mentality. 50 feeble-minded children were treated and suitably controlled with other children of the same age and diagnosis. Binet tests were the criteria of mental advancement. No physical changes resulted, but on prolonged treatment, the mental development was greater than that prior to treatment in excess of controlled children of the same mental age. These studies on feeble-minded children afford certain technical evidences of value, but quantity of improvement resultant is not sufficient to warrant any widespread use of pineal materials as a profitable treatment of feeble-mindedness. Bonner studying the influence upon the growth of the various ductless glands, including thyroid, thymus, and pineal. Results would indicate that none of these glands have any consistent effect of growth rate on young rats. Experiments at the same porosity of development usually attributed to pineal deficiency. Yeah. So the transformation of a tadpole into a miniature frog within 1 week, whereas normally the metamorphosis consumes from 4 to 6 months. This phenomenon is due to the intense differentiated action of the thyroid. Similarly, thymus tissues retards differentiation of tadpoles at the development, wherein normally tadpoles begin to differentiate. Thymus-fed tadpoles continue to grow larger without differentiation. Vastly, but so in early records of the influence exerted by pineal upon development, we employed young animals, chicks. If an experiment is open to her, then normally such animals individual variations. Hold on a second. Okay, so just pretty much sum up the experiment. The inference is the pineal materials, when added to the culture medium of the unicellular organism, paramecium, determines a more rapid rate of reproduction. For the individuals of single laying, fairly constant is the occurrence of such changes as the button of the hind legs with the subsequent formation of the different portions of the hind legs, the closing of the gills, the extrusion of the forelegs, the assumption of terrestrial life, such a phenomenon we sought to influence by the introduction of pineal gland materials into the living water of the tadpoles. So, results of feeding pineal gland to young guinea pigs of the same age. Animals to the left controls animals to the right, pineal fed. Interesting, huh? So, was a comparison of 2 groups of tadpoles taken from the same lot, photographed simultaneously after 2 weeks of laboratory feeding. Group to the right fed small amounts of dissociated pineal gland tri-weekly. Group to the left fed equivalent amounts of dissociated muscle tissue. Wow. Drawings made at weekly intervals indicating the rate of metamorphosis. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. The drawings made at weekly intervals indicating that the rate of metamorphosis, the terrible fed tissue in comparison with normal metamorphosis. Pineal fed. The small figure to the right, maybe a G, represents stages of development of the hind legs. Interesting. So, okay, oh, blast it. Hold on a second. Oh, this is what I wanted to find, actually. So, American Medical Association, in relation to, so, yeah, this Ascoffin phase, pineal gland gets its due. Wait a second. Okay, so I can't check out that article because I'm not a subscriber, but 17th century philosopher René Descartes, I guess, thought the pineal body was a seat of the rational soul. Some 1400 years before him, the Greek physician Galen believed it was a valve to regulate the flow of thoughts out of the storage in the brain. Many 20th century scientists scoffing at these outmoded ideas decided that the pineal body in humans had no important function at all. But new scientific evidence shows that pineal performs some very important tasks, though these are quite unrelated to the ideas of Galen and Descartes. The pineal body, sometimes called pineal gland, is a small structure near the center of the brain, though it's not actually part of the brain. White or pinkish gray color. It is about a quarter of an inch long and shaped like a pine cone, pinea in Latin, from which it takes its name. And anyways, use your thoughts. It weighs less than 1/100th of an ounce. New evidence indicates the pineal body is a powerful factor in hormonal changes that usher in adolescence. It seems to work through a hormone it secretes called melatonin that inhibits the chemistry of sexual maturation. The pineal body is believed to be the human's body only source of melatonin. And research seems to show that melatonin production in early childhood keeps the reproductive system quiescent. I don't know. It's probably embryonic brain, but pineal in animals is receive nerve signals relayed by the brain from the eye and does send its principal hormonal product, melatonin, elsewhere in the body, where it elicits important responses. In some species, such as frogs, pineal is known to be directly sensitive to light, seeming to function as a third eye to help animal gauge light and darkness. And its function had been accumulating slowly for many years. In 1898, German physician Otto Hutter discovered that a 4-year-old boy who suffered of premature sexual maturity had a tumor in or near his pineal. Many similar cases have been found since reviewing them. Scientists concluded that tumors so near the pineal that they hampered its function and caused early puberty, while those rare tumors in which pineal issues were abnormally seemed to delay the onset of adolescence. So that's pineal. So a black patient, measure mountains. Actually, let me do it in 1913. So there is stuff. Just do your research, people. Just do your research.